What is up, guys? It is As Josh Sees It. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking about all of the upgrades that we have done on the BMW GS 1250. Get ready for this. Can't wait to show it to you. Alright guys, well here it is, the BMW GS 1250. I'm sure you guys have seen a lot of it on the channel. Mainly if you guys follow me on social media, you've probably seen us riding this motorcycle on there. But today we're going to talk a little bit about some of the upgrades that we've done to the bike. We do have a full motorcycle review video coming up in the future, so be on the lookout for that. But yeah, I wanted to just kind of talk to you guys about some of the build we've done so far on this motorcycle, some of the customizations, and honestly we're kind of getting to the point now where there's not a ton left to do on this bike. I mean, it's pretty close to being done. And yeah, I mean, it's taken a couple months to get there. Some of the parts that we wanted were on back order. Some of them were provided by channel sponsors. So kind of a mixture of everything. I'll do my best as we're talking through these parts to let you guys know what things I actually bought and what things were provided to the channel. But yeah, we'll start with kind of the obvious of the thing that's right in front of you. We have a dark smoke windscreen. So for you guys that don't know, this is a 2021 BMW GS 1250. This was not the adventure version, so this is going to come with the 6-gallon tank, not the big 8-gallon tank. It's going to have a different seat than the adventure does, and then it did not come with a lot of the like upper and lower crash bars that come stock on BMW, and we'll talk a little bit about that and kind of the reasons why I chose the GS versus the GSA. But for now, we're talking through some of the builds. So on the normal GS, it comes with a much smaller windscreen. It's obviously a clear one from the factory, and so that's something that I really did like that the GSA had on it, was a much bigger windscreen that did a better job at reflecting the air. So I wanted to get that. Honestly, we had a lot of trouble trying to find the actual BMW OEM windscreen. So I found out that BMW actually doesn't sell that windscreen in the United States. They sell just the clear version, but not the dark smoke one. I'm not honestly sure why. Maybe it's for safety or something like that, but we were able to find it through a friend of a friend, and we're able to get this one brand new and put on here. So cool part is we're in the US right now, and I think we might be one of the only people that actually has the dark smoke GSA windscreen on the bike. And obviously with the triple black colorway, I feel like this windscreen really does a good job at making it look super aggressive and kind of taking it through that blacked out look. Something else that we did that you guys can't see from the bike, but we'll try and cut to some B-roll, is we did a headlight guard on here. So that is provided to the channel by Lone Rider. They're a channel sponsor, so thank you guys. If you haven't seen their product, go ahead and check them out. And the headlight guard kit is probably like one of the most popular things that a lot of people do to the GS and GSA. So a couple practical things, like when you're riding off-road, obviously you don't want to get a big rock straight to your headlight. I think it's like a $2,000 or $3,000 part to replace if it does break. So definitely wanted to make sure there was some protection there, but I wanted a kind of cool design element and aesthetic. So Lone Rider had a really cool looking one that we were able to put on there relatively easy, and I feel like it really looks cool. So something else on the front of the motorcycle obviously is the clear channel, super bright. I think they're called the Erika lights. They are an auxiliary light. I went ahead and put a yellow lens cover on them just so you can kind of see better. I mean, you can see like right over there in the reflection of the car. These things are super bright, and they're fully integrated into the system. So if I flash my brights, they'll get brighter. If I honk my horn, they'll kind of pulse. Or if I hit my brights fast a couple times, I can make them kind of pulsate back and forth. So some pretty cool features installed on the clear channel lights, but those things were not cheap. They are not a channel sponsor. I did reach out to them and didn't get any traction from them, but I think the lights were like $1,000, and then like the labor to install them was probably like another $500. So it's like $1,500 auxiliary lights after everything is said and done. But I feel like they're super worth it, especially like if I'm in traffic, splitting lanes for a long period of time. What I'll do is I'll throw on like my hazards so that they kind of just blink, blink, blink as I'm going through traffic. And what I've noticed is they're so bright that they will actually cause the cars to like split and give you enough room, which is super nice. So especially if I'm riding with a group of people, like I'll get in front, turn my hazards on while we're splitting lanes, and kind of like I'll split the traffic for everybody and just give everybody a little bit more room. So definitely it's one of the most expensive upgrades I think I've done on the bike, but I would say really, really well worth it. Alright, going through Laguna Beach here on Pacific Coast Highway. Those of you guys that don't know, Laguna Beach cops are super, super strict, so we're going to slow down here to like close to what the actual speed limit is, because there's almost always cops just waiting, kind of going through Laguna, ready to catch people that are like literally, I've seen people get pulled over for going like 5 miles an hour over the speed limit, which is a little bit ridiculous, but there you go. So those are the lights on there. I'm trying to think of what else. Okay, so one of the things, and this is an option that comes from BMW, the bike doesn't come like this, that my bike had, was the option 719 mirrors here. So they're like a really cool looking mirror. They're like black and silver. I think they're all like billet aluminum maybe. Look really, really cool. But what I noticed, because they're like a metal mirror mounted on obviously metal handlebars, is anything over like 65, 70 miles an hour, the mirror started to vibrate pretty intensely, and then I literally like couldn't see through my mirrors. So it was kind of like they looked really cool, but they were really pretty pointless and didn't have any functionality. So I actually ended up taking them off, selling them, and then just literally got the BMW stock OEM mirrors here. They're like rubber mounted, super, super smooth. Really like them. They're not as big, they don't have as cool of a design aesthetic, but that is technically a mod, even though it's funny that it's a mod. But I went simpler and went with the OEM thing, so there you go. But this is literally the mirror that BMW uses on like all of their motorcycles, so pretty refined and just works well, which is kind of what I wanted on this bike. So that was one of the only things I sacrificed, design aesthetic for functionality, which you guys know on this channel I don't do that often. So there you go. One of the very first things I did on this motorcycle, and this is more like personal preference based on my height, arm length, and all of that stuff, is you guys can see here, I did a riser on this bike by a company called Tour Performance, and what this is just a solid piece of metal that brings it up and back. I think it brings it maybe up 1 inch and then back 1 inch, and so it gave me a little bit more rise in my handlebars and then pulled the bars a little bit closer to me, so that put me in a pretty perfect riding position for going long distances. As you guys heard in the video where I talk all about why I chose an adventure bike, one of the things I wanted on this bike was the ability to go long distances on the highway, and so definitely wanted a bar that was comfortable and had me in the ideal riding position for me. But obviously the ideal riser is going to be dependent on your height, how long your arms are, a bunch of different factors, so get what's right for you. As you guys can see, I put Quadlock motorcycle mounts on all of my bikes, so that is what's on here. It has the vibration dampener, it has, gosh, get through this traffic. It has a vibration dampener on here. It has a wireless charger, so the phone's always, you know, charging while it's on here. Super convenient. Again, they are a channel sponsor, so thank you guys for sending that. If you haven't seen Quadlock, go check them out. They're one of the best games in town. Appreciate everything they do, and they've stood by me for a while. yeah, moving up on the bike. Gosh, this is like wet asphalt in the back of this guy's truck. I think it smells horrible. Let's get past this guy. Funny story, we're riding today and there's actually like a hurricane on the way to Southern California that I think is supposed to like touch down in, I don't know, they said like by noon. So it's 8:30 in the morning that we're shooting this, and we got like a few hours left, so hopefully it doesn't start raining and getting crazy while we're shooting this video, but we'll see. So next we have all of the engine guards. So again, with the GS and not the GSA, this bike didn't come with any engine guards whatsoever. So if you guys can see, like, these are your cylinders and the heads like sticking out on either side. And with any adventure bike, especially taking it off-road, like, you're gonna drop it at some point. You know, hopefully they're gonna be in relatively slow speeds. It's not gonna be that big of a deal, but because it is an adventure bike, like, you're almost certainly gonna drop it, especially if you're off-road. So I wanted to get some protection on there as soon as possible. One of the reasons why I didn't want the GSA over the GS was it comes with crash bars. Honestly, didn't love the look of them, and then all of the crash bars come in a silver. So as you guys can tell with this motorcycle, we're kind of going for this like blacked out theme. So went with Touratech lowers and uppers, got them in black. They do a terrific job. I have dropped this bike a few times off-road and they have done their job and protected the motorcycle, so super stoked on that. And I mean, that is the majority of like actual upgrades. I've done some adventure pegs on the bike, so that just gives you a little bit more footing, a little bit more aggressive feel, and it helps, especially if you're gonna like stand up on the bike when you're off-road. And then I have a bunch of different luggage options. As you guys can probably see, I have these bags up here, have bags on the side, I have some bags on the back, and a few different options. So all of my motorcycle luggage is brought to you by Lone Rider. They are a channel sponsor here, so they have provided all of our needs. So I have side semi-rigid soft panniers that I can throw on the bike if we're going on long distance rides. For the most part, I just use their Overland 30 bag to kind of put all of my stuff in. So right now I have an Overland 30 bag on the back of the motorcycle, and in the back I have a Sony camera. I have like 3 or 4 different lenses. We're actually on our way right now to a photo shoot of this motorcycle. And then I have just like a change of shirt and maybe like some extra gloves and stuff like that. So I do have a video. I'll link to it in this video right here, where I kind of go through the different bags that I have and some of the different purposes that each of the bags hold. Like this bag is just kind of like my essentials, keep kind of quick things in there. This is like a safety, first aid, tire puncture kit, like anything that, like, if there's an emergency of any kind, I go to that bag. It has everything in there. I don't have to think about it. So there is a specific point for all of my different bags that I have. But huge shout out to Lone Rider for being a channel sponsor. Their bags are super versatile. You can really make them do whatever you need them to do. All of them, I think, have the like molly system to where you can like strap bags to each other and really get creative. So definitely recommend checking them out. And best yet, most of their bags are black, so kind of match the aesthetic of this motorcycle and what I'm trying to do. So super stoked on that. I mean, for the most part, I think that's all of the mods and things that I have done to this GS 1250. Like I said, it's pretty close to being done. The only things that we have left to do on this, we're going to throw on a slip-on exhaust, and then we're going to paint some of the parts black on here that are silver. Oh, last but not least, we put some aftermarket handguards on here from Barkbusters. They're also a channel sponsor. Again, I wanted a handguard that was a little more robust. The BMW handguards do a decent job, but if you drop the bike, they're pretty much like one and done. So these ones are super rigid. Obviously, you can see it has like a metal frame right here. They're not going to break or bend or anything like that. So been very happy with those, and honestly they look pretty cool in pictures and stuff like that, so definitely excited for that. So yeah, that is pretty much all of the mods that we have on this motorcycle. not a ton left to do to the bike. Again, we're pretty much ready. Everything that I'm doing on this bike is kind of gearing up towards a pretty long ride that we have planned for next year, where I'm actually shipping this motorcycle up to the Arctic Circle, and I'm going to be taking the Pan America Highway. So it starts off at the Dalton Highway, leaving out of Prudhoe Bay, and goes all the way down through Alaska, into Canada, down through North America, and we are going to end the trip in Mexico. So everything we've been doing is kind of purpose-built and pointed towards that direction of making sure this motorcycle has everything we need on it to be self-sufficient, from tents to tool repair kits to first aid, all of that kind of stuff, but obviously is also able to ride in a bunch of different terrains and stuff like that. So that is the BMW GS 1250. Hey, thank you guys so much for being a part of this channel. Go ahead and like this video if you've enjoyed what you've seen. Hey, if you guys have any questions about any of the mods that we've done, or maybe even have suggestions of stuff that we could still do to this bike, would love to hear from you guys in the comments on this video. As you guys know, we put out videos like this 2 to 3 times a week, and then 2 or 3 times a month we do full review videos of different motorcycles. So be on the lookout for more videos coming up on the channel. Thank you guys so much for your support. It is because of your support that we're able to do all of these cool customizations to these bikes, get the different motorcycles. So thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. Till we meet again, peace.